drinks too many. OWI.
Think you better call Donnell.
Arrested and facing criminal charges, misdemeanor or felony.
I think you better call Donnell.
Purchase a product that causes you or a loved one harm.
I think you better call Donnell.
When your loved one is neglected and abused in a nursing home.
I think you better call Donnell.
That's right, you better call Attorney Darnell Lyles and get represented right. And the first consultation is free. Yes, free. So call right now. 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. Attorney Darnell Lyles. Darnell Lyles.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they think you owe them money, they will take it. They can garnish your paycheck and seize your bank accounts too. So if you owe back taxes, call Covington Tax Solutions. They can save you thousands if you qualify. Call Covington Tax Solutions now for a free consultation. Call 872-257-4631. Call 872-257-4631.
Covington Tax Solutions.
This is Attorney Darnell Lyles, and every Sunday I listen to The Family Meeting.
This is motivational speaker and author Dan Duster, author of the great-selling book, Peaceful Selling, Easy Sales Techniques to Grow Your Small Business. I listen to The Family Meeting.
Welcome to the worldwide headquarters of The Family Meeting. It's Family Meeting time, y'all. You know how it works. Grab your phones, find us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. Like, follow, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you prefer. Do that for us, will you?
Just don't middle finger us.
But if you'd like,
if you do,
because we're men and we can handle that.
That's true. You can
it
double
don't
down.
make a difference. Because we don't care.
We don't care, first of all.
Nah,
I was gonna say
that's right. You do that thing, because that's where the conversation happens when we're not here. Also, be sure to visit our webpage. That's tfmradioshow.com. tfmradioshow.com. Archive broadcasts are there. The music playlist, which changed this week.
Uh-oh.
I was in a funk mood this week and had a little hip-hop going on. What y'all know about that, man? I'm saying, man, get down like that. Hit that music playlist, man. Keep you occupied. It's 1,280 tracks on there, including about 25 one-hour mixes. You don't want to miss that.
You can't get bored.
Nah, you can't, man. It's our music, man. TFMRadioshow.com is where you'll find that. Also, the live link for this broadcast is there as well. TFMRadioshow.com. In the space shuttle, who's in the space shuttle cockpit? Is that Paul back there? Our white slave Paul is back there manning the phones and the space shuttle buttons and
keeping everybody in line
and stuff and all that kind of stuff. And that voice you hear right there is the black Asian dude himself, Richard Chu.
What's up, y'all?
That's my man.
E.
Yeah, my man, 50 grand. That's right. Hey, man, you can become a patron of our broadcast for as little as $5 a month. Try that. Click the button, become a patron on the website, tfmradioshow.com, and you'll be a patron.
That's right.
It kind of follows, doesn't it?
Right. If patron, it's Patreon.
Click the button, pay the money, you become a patron.
And don't be stingy.
And look, it's going to be live today, y'all. So the lines fill quickly. You're going to want to get in now. The number is 773-763-9278. 773-763-9278. Let me bring our guest in right away, shall I?
Yes.
Shan't I?
You shan't.
I shan't. This is my girl. We go back. She's my main girl, 50 grand, all that stuff.
Road dog till the wheels and tires burn out.
That's right, man. Michelle. This is Michelle Reed, y'all. Everybody give her a hand, shall you? Yay!
Gotta hit the applause button, E.
Yeah. Clap for me. There you go. Okay.
There we go.
Michelle, how you doing, girl?
Hey, I'm wonderful. How about you guys?
Fantastic. Excellent. I haven't seen you since you came by. I haven't seen you about a year. Has it been a year? Maybe two.
Maybe a little bit.
Since the pandemic.
Pre-COVID.
Damn, it's been that long?
Yeah, it's been. But I've been thinking about you, so.
Oh, that makes you feel.
I mean, yeah. Always think about my
now I feel better. I feel better now.
Yes.
I might even sleep tonight. I might even sleep.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Are you tired?
A little bit, yeah. Hey, listen, breaking news.
What?
Yes.
McRib is back.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Disgusting.
Yeah. McRib.
Man, that will just.
And they got the nerve to say, get it while it's last.
They always say that.
Right. Like,
they always say that,
like
and I
really
never
gonna
get
miss
it ever. I've never had one.
No.
I won't say that I have, but it's been long time.
You had a
ago.
McRib before?
Long time
never
ago.
had
How you feel?
How did I feel?
How you feel now?
It's been such a long time ago. I don't even remember. Because that was, I'm talking 20 plus years ago.
Seems like that sandwich would be slick.
I've never ever had one and have no desire to have a McRib. McRib.
I had one. It wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's breaking news though.
But they make it seem like it's so great.
Man.
Yeah,
they do.
I don't know if people are even buying it.
And the funny thing about it, making it seem so great, is that it's more highly marketed or back on their menu during certain times of the year. Get to the holiday season, they drop it in. As soon as Halloween hits, they drop it in, and then once spring breaks and we get to that, it's about to be.
The dude who created McRib must have had dirty pictures on somebody, because they should have fired his or her ass a long time ago.
Say, listen, I want this in the menu and I want my cut,
Right.
Because I saw what you did with your nasty behind. So you either let me have.
I got a good idea. Let's roll out the McRib again.
You either let me have it in the store
year after year.
Hey, listen.
That's like the shake, the
Shamrock shake.
Shamrock shake.
The
Never
green
had
shake?
one.
The green
Never
shake?
had one.
I'm not going to do that either.
That's
not even like milk in those things,
None
is
of
it?
their shakes are. None of their shakes.
I don't trust that whole setup.
Yeah, none of their shakes are.
I mean, I can get down with the French fries at McDonald's.
You know what?
And I don't understand why they tip your fries over in your bag now. Have you seen that when you go to McDonald's?
Yeah, you
they
reach
tip
to
the bag over.
bag. Yeah.
Stand it up, man. I don't want you to tip my fries.
They're too busy rushing.
I can only eat the fries when they're really hot.
Yeah, because when they get cooler,
It's horrible.
When they're not.
And then I can eat the fish sandwich.
Fish sandwich is all right.
And then the chicken nuggets.
fish,
that's
though.
it. I don't believe it is, but that's about the only thing I can try.
It's pollock. It's the least. It's the
least
cheapest.
expensive.
Yeah, or
it's probably what they call swag.
That's a little too much
swagger.
information. Okay,
I
thanks
don't know.
for
It's
that,
a
man.
fish.
Thank you for that.
Pollock,
Fish.
so it's not
Thank
a-
you for that, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Well,
that. Now that we know what kind of fish it is, thank you for that.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Hey, man, listen. I've been. I decided to a couple of weeks ago just to reread "Souls of Black Folks." W.E.B. Du Bois's book from the early 1901, 2 or 3, something like that. Read it as a 19 or 20-year-old as a student, and really kind of affirmed the value of rereading some books.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
You look at books and say, I read that already, I know the story, but this one in particular, given my level of maturity now, it's a lot more vivid. And so surprisingly not disturbing as much as vivid. I don't know, have you read Souls of Black Folks?
I have not.
No.
I would encourage the reading. So, W.E.B. Du Bois, I think he tried really hard to sound learned with the book. Lots of big words, and the way he arranges words is that he's a learned man, but it's a real kind of a bougie type of learned layout for the book. But all this stuff's kind of coming out to me now as I'm reading it before, because I remember struggling through it when I was in college, because black folks had it hard. I know.
Yeah.
This is where I was when I was 19.
Heard about it.
Slavery, yeah, I heard.
Let me get in here and do my school thing, because I'm here.
When's the party start? I'm trying to get through this because I'm forced to read it, like a number of other books. But in reading it now as a mature man, the vivid description of what life was like for people of color in this country, immediately post-Civil War, the vivid nature is stark. So I'm trying to find all the right words to describe this, because I want to kind of make a point here. Imagine if you decided, this country decided to take all the 3-year-olds in the country and lock them up in prison. Don't teach them how to read or write, but teach them manual labor. And when they turn 18, set them all free.
Wow.
Just let them out. Good luck. Have at it. Right? With nothing. With nothing. And the way W.E.B. Du Bois describes what black people, how people of color lived immediately following slavery, after having been property, now you get a chance to own property, but you have no idea how that works. You don't have any money, you don't have any property, and where to live, nothing to eat. And people who have those resources, the education and the money, are putting on you.
They're vultures. They were vultures to be able to come in and say these people who have just been, reintroduced to the society that we've
not reintroduced, never introduced.
The thing about it is that they've just changed one system to another system.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all advantageous to them both times.
Without a doubt, and in some ways more so afterward, because now people could say, "Well, we tried." In their way of being,
right.
Trying to be magnanimous, they could say, well, we did we let them out. We gave them their freedom, and they didn't do anything with it. Yeah. So what we're supposed to do? Let all this treasure and largesse go to waste?
But you got them wandering around with no skills or abilities or understanding of what now is their life, and they're attempting to find a way to eat or shelter. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. I mean, the description. One of the things that kind of became apparent to me is the purposeful failure of what they call the Freedmen's Bureau. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting in the book is he doesn't refer to people of color as necessarily black all the time or ex-slaves. He refers to them as freedmen, which is I can see
freedmen. Freedmen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
freedmen.
I think there was a psychological. Going back to this is our way of absolving ourselves, or an attempt to absolve ourselves of the guilt of enslaving people, which is using words like freedmen or freed women, but it was freedmen, so that we can say, well, they're free now. They should be able to do everything that we're doing.
It's also evidence of the crime.
It's evidence of the crime, right?
Right, because you had to have been
not free
to become free all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they were freedmen, but they were also black. And then
and let's be honest and definitive about that, because people of color, someone referenced me as being a person of color, and I said, what does that mean? And they were stuck. They didn't know how to respond. Well, I said, don't refer to me as a person of color. Refer to me as, if you're going to refer to me as by definition based on what you see, then refer to me as black or African American, but don't refer to me as
or African for that matter.
Or African, but not. I didn't say that. I said black or African American, but don't refer to me as a person of color.
Yeah,
right, because that erases everything that you've been through.
Bingo, and it also
don't diminish.
It also
you're diminishing.
I'm sorry, Michelle.
I'm sorry.
What it also I believe does, and this ties back to a little bit of what Eric is presenting, is this people of color. Once again, it's a word like diversity. It allows, candidly, white folks who want to be informed or think that they're woke, it gives them a sort of a softer landing. The saying people of color, because then it allows to diminish.
It's a blanket.
And it allows people to diminish the individuality of culture. Because you say people of color,
that's a mix.
Which group are you talking about? Yeah. Our Latin brothers and sisters, our Middle Eastern brothers and sisters, our Chinese brothers and sisters, our Asian brothers and sisters. But it doesn't highlight black folks or Chinese folks or Japanese folks. So, because when you look at, overlay that with what Eric is talking about, which other group of color was enslaved in the United States of America?
Yeah, and it also speaks to the insidious, I mean, being enslaved by itself was insidious, but the system that followed that was even more insidious. For you to walk around thinking that you're a full-fledged citizen and not, at the same time, put upon by the state, having the entire apparatus of the government aimed at you, how the social norms began to define what you could and could not do. The way he describes them in this book.
Is it in an audiobook form now?
It is. It is. In fact, I'm on the audiobook now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Very nice.
So one thing I can't find is a history of the Freedmen's Bureau.
Okay.
The government agency that was formed to deal with this new problem that they had. And it failed miserably, the organization did. And the Freedmen's Bureau had a Freedmen Bank that he describes in here. But so I dare you, look for a book on the Freedmen's Bureau
It's been whitewashed.
But they don't want to talk about that.
It's been whitewashed. It's gone.
They want to write about that, right? You can't even find a definitive book about General Howard, who founded Howard University, who was the leader of the Freedmen's Bureau.
Yeah.
And just how it was wrought with people stealing money and taking from people and doing a Brett Favre to the funds. Just craziness.
Swiping.
So
left and right.
I am actively looking for someone who gives a definitive history of the Freedmen's Bureau so I can read the story of how it started and then ultimately failed, and failed the people that it was supposed to serve. But more importantly, one of the things that Du Bois describes in the book, and this is apropos for this election season, excuse me, is he talked about the political class, the people who decided to run for office, who pursued politics as a career, and he talked about how, in not so many words, how it was attractive to distasteful people. That it was only distasteful people who migrated to that, and that they often described it to the newly freedmen as, you don't want to do that, it's a distasteful career. And distasteful people were telling him that it's a distasteful career. And what it made me think about was, in this election time, so I remember people complaining about ads everywhere for politics. Everybody's got an ad. How many millions of emails did you get with them asking you questions for your opinion?
Not only that, your phone, it was an inundation.
They're texting you, yeah. But what struck me, though, is they were asking your opinion.
Right.
Yes.
Right. What's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that?
And then at the bottom.
Now they disappear.
Yeah.
You won't hear from them. They don't care about your opinion now.
I told my nephew last night, he was like, God, he said, I cannot. He said, I sat down and I looked at the numbers of communication, to your point, E. And I said, trust me, the next 2 weeks, the only thing you're going to get anything on is the runoff in Georgia. And then after December 6th, it'll fall off the cliff.
Yes.
Right. But what struck me, though, was the number of times they asked me for my opinion.
Yeah.
That was the thing that struck me.
And then
Why did it strike you?
And then what? Once they get your opinion,
right? Well, see, what they did though is you would try to answer the question, and it was just a link to tell you to get money. That's all they were trying to do.
Okay.
So they didn't really want your opinion.
Responded.
They didn't really want your opinion. They just wanted your money.
Yes.
But so, and it's kind of, I remember responding to them asking for my opinion. Yeah, thank you. I want to tell you what my opinion is. I want to tell you what my opinion is. But now they don't care about my opinion. You won't get any emails. You won't have any town halls where they're asking for your opinion anymore.
Because it doesn't matter. It's never about your opinion.
Right.
It's never about your opinion. That's some stuff that they do just to make you think you're a part of the operation of voting and everything. And then, like you said, they're gone. Until the next.
They're not going to ask you your opinion anymore.
You'll get asked again in 4 years.
Or two.
Or in two.
Or in two, right?
But that part of this whole cycle of how are we in the mix is a conversation that we have every cycle. 2 years, in some cases 1 year. But the problem that's a systemic problem, and we all talked about this, is if there's really an interest in fixing the issues, then it wouldn't be this high point, low point, or high point gone. It would be, I'd rather see a flat line. If there were going to be, if there's really a true, let's fix this, it would be a flat line. All the time I want to hear from what Richard and Eric and Michelle have to say about this. I want to talk to them all the time.
But you would think that they would want to be informed about that so that they can act accordingly when they're voting on various things in Washington.
And wouldn't it seem also, even on local level, wouldn't it seem that if it were a flat line, and flat lines can be perceived wrong when you're talking about people living in whatever. But anyhow, flat line, constant, consistent, regular, then it would seem like that would cost them less in money, in time, in physical energy. It would just be
right, because by the time you got to election season, you will have reacted to all your questions.
Right.
And you'll be doing what the people want, and they'll support you.
Bingo.
Exactly.
And you wouldn't be working so damn hard, like, I got to be out there campaigning again.
No, that's not what they're doing.
That's what they do naturally.
So if they want our opinion on something, stop asking us about the issues and talk about your strategy and how to work with people.
And fix it.
And fix it.
Right. Distasteful people. That's what we have again. Yeah, blue wave, red wave, all that kind of garbage. Now what is my question? And I want to pay particular attention to that because we have a tendency to ride the wave of just forgetting.
When it's done.
Right? So now we voted for your ass now.
Yes.
Now you got to step up and do what we want you to do.
Yeah.
The number is 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
Your very definition of free. You've been going my way. Since you've been going my way, baby. Have been going my way. Everything's been going my way. Saturday, Sunday, Monday to Friday.
This is Rodney Harrington. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Make me wanna say to you, baby. In my wildest days, did I think I'd find someone like you? Like your style, you're swift, you're agile. Everything about you stays true. You appeared before the sun. Struck me blind, girl, you're so damn fine.
A basic and essential part of any financial plan is savings. Most of whatever cash you have will be there because you put it there, not necessarily because of some fancy investment. Now with Save and Plan, Polaris has introduced a way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up to save, Polaris will help you develop a customized financial plan and give you a real person to speak with. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com and call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors.
Hey, Family Meeting cousins. As you know, we created a Patreon Family Meeting subscription and membership page to include you great listeners in our effort and give you a chance to very economically promote your business, organization, or local event. You can contribute as little as $5 per month to get your message out and support the Family Meeting as a viable voice. We know you appreciate our permanent interest dialogue, get up and dance playlist, and our great guests who stop by. So become a cousin and go to our website, thefamilymeeting.com, and click on the link.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. All benefits are subject to policy definitions, limitations, and exclusions. For details, visit qualityouflifeinsurance.com.
Building a solid insurance plan is like building a place to live. It takes different materials to make it comfortable.
What about a castle? Isn't it just made of stone?
Castles are drafty, but that's not the point. Homes use different building materials, and you need different insurance coverage to give you security.
What about a teepee? Isn't it just made out of one thing?
Skins and poles, but let's stay focused. Quality of Life Insurance is affordable insurance from a leading company and can provide benefits if you're disabled or suffer a serious illness or injury and need help to preserve your lifestyle.
So it's a modern structure to meet my insurance needs.
Exactly.
To find out more, contact the Polaris Insurance Agency. Visit polarisadvice.com or call 312-951-2606 to learn about how we can help you make a plan for your future. That's 312-951-2606.
Good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. We will return it to you as soon as you are grooving. Welcome to station WEFUNK, better known as We Funk, or deeper still, the Mothership Connection, home of the extraterrestrial brothers, dealers of funky music, P-Funk, Uncut Funk, the bomb.
Coming to you directly from the Mothership. Top up the chocolate Milky Way. 500,000 kilowatts of P-Funk power. So kick back, dig, while we do it to you in your eardrums. Oh, me? I'm known as Lollipop Man, alias the long-haired sucker. My motto is make my funk a P-Funk. Make mine the P-Funk. I want my funk uncut. Make my funk a P-Funk. Make my funk a P-Funk. I want to get funked up.
Hi, this is Patty Schuler. You can get a hold of me at Patty, P-A-T-T-Y, at naturesrootedwisdom.com. Welcome back to Family Meeting.
Y'all wasn't ready for that kind of funk, were you, man?
No.
I wasn't ready for that kind of funk.
Listen to that drop.
Y'all wasn't ready for that, man. With Bootsy dropping the bass like that, y'all wasn't ready for that kind of funk.
That was heavy.
I was on a funk thing this week, man.
Why not?
Yeah, man.
I'm paying attention, but I'm looking up something. So I watched this. I'm in the process of watching this show. I'm about 45 minutes in. It's a little over 2 hours long, and some of you may already know about it, and I might be behind the curve. It's called Is That Black Enough? And it's on Netflix. And you got to check it out. It's a documentary on the history of black influence in movies.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that is good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
And so when you were talking about rereading Dr. Du Bois' book, I thought about Du Bois' book. I thought about it. I thought about this documentary because, bless you, it talks about and leans into so many things that we need to go back and revisit and relook at and restudy and re-embrace.
Well, I mean, what struck me though is that the story that he's telling is not widely told, and I shouldn't say that. It's told in different ways, fiction and nonfiction, but a specific description of the Freedmen's Bureau. He describes, for instance, the effort to displace the Native Americans in Georgia to the west of the Mississippi River, and so we know what displace means. It means kill, murder, maim.
Yes.
Exterminate more so than displace or replace.
Yeah, it's all of that. So
it's just a nice word.
But he's telling the story in like 1902 or 3 or something when the book was published, and so there's so much more history that he may not have known as he was writing. He was living it and describing it, and stuff comes out after the fact that we know about. Right. And so him describing that as displacement.
Yeah, lynchings and all this other stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah.
That he wasn't privy to.
Right, exactly. Like stuff we're not privy to right now, that we learn about after the fact. I think we learn about it faster than they probably learned about it now because of the speed of the internet and social media. But it's difficult to read. It's sad that you had people who had to endure trying to figure that out. But it's also like resilience. It's like, wow, y'all figured that out?
Still here.
Yeah, right.
And we're still here.
So that I'm here now like this?
I made it to this point. You made it to this point, and you made it to this point.
Yeah.
And our children have made it to this point.
That's the part. There's another documentary on Netflix.
You watch too much damn TV, man. Too much damn TV.
I read a lot. I watch a lot. I try. Eric always criticizes in a pleasant way people who aren't intellectually curious, and I make sure I didn't have a definition for it, but I've always said I want to try to learn more, find out something new. So yeah, I watch a lot of damn television.
It's a lot of documentaries.
Yeah, I watch a lot of documentaries because I'm a nerd. I get that.
Right.
Yeah. But I do some too. So. Not a lot, though, but I do.
But check this out.
I'm interested in it.
Because here's the thing. The whole idea that these productions are done by black folks. That in and of itself just is a story that black folks are producing these documentaries about our history and not being slanted or tainted by a non-black producer, writer, and director. It makes watching it like, I was sitting on the couch yesterday just chilling, leaning back going, this is like sitting in class. Because, 70% of the stuff 20% of it you kind of know, but 10% you like, to Eric's point, and I'm just always trying to circle back, you had no damn idea.
Yeah, just the nuance of it sometimes.
And I'm like...
it was a hard road to toe. Again, enslaving people was bad, but this thing that Dr. Du Bois had to live through and all the people who thought they were free, that they had to try to live through under constant threat of harm coming to your physical being on a daily basis.
Just for existing.
Right, and sanctioned by the state.
Yeah.
Wow.
The state of all of the states.
A lot to get through.
Oh my God. To get to the point where we are now, it's resilience, but I don't want to claim victory. It's not a victory. It's
not a victory.
We did it despite you guys. But wait a minute. But I don't want to get too far into that because y'all need to read that. I want to make that when I finish it again. I want to make that a subject.
Okay.
What I want to talk about is this. I know the callers too want to talk about this blue wave, this thing that happened, and so now they're in charge of the Senate again, but there's a chance they probably won't get the House. So what we're faced with is like 2 years of chaos.
A deadlock again.
Well, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be chaos because these people in the House, if they're in charge, they're going to be up to
showing their behinds. They're going to be showing their behinds.
Yeah.
And for those who are frustrated and at the same time cheering that we didn't have a red wave and all that sort of stuff, I sit back and I ask the question this week: But how do we even, I got interviewed outside of my building by this media group that wanted to know my opinions and also whatnot. So I said, listen, at the end of the day, why are we even at this point? We shouldn't even be here where everybody's got their damn hair on fire about the fact that we could be losing our democracy. We shouldn't even be here. If the country,
if we're as great a country as you say we are,
I said if the country is all about what it says it is, then this shouldn't even be a conversation. I said, but we're here because the country isn't what it said it really is,
and nobody wants to deal with it appropriately.
And he was no. See,
they didn't play that. They're not going to play that on TV.
Wait. And
that clip is getting deleted
because a black person told him that he was expecting something different. I won't say what he was expecting,
but not that.
Because I said this country isn't what it said it's made out. It set up to be.
We've seen that the day.
And so why are we here? So the wave, blue, red, purple, whatever.
What does that mean?
What does it mean, and why is it even a conversation or subject?
Where are we going from here?
Right, because
that's a great question.
Where are we going? What does that mean?
In 2 years, in 18 months, we're going to be having this conversation all over again.
And
meanwhile,
on the heels of a tremendous amount of chaos.
And that might not be the last time.
It won't be, because this is what's going to happen. Eric's so right on. We're going to have all this damn chaos for the next 12 months, 16. We get into the election cycle, and it's going to get crazier.
Shenanigans.
They're going to be standing on tables. You watch.
You saw what they did in the last year and a half? January 2000, what was it, 20? With the
21.
It didn't start there.
No.
It did not start there.
It's insane.
Eric just has said it so well so many times. He said, these people are craven, and they're committed to doing more than the people that should push back are willing to commit to do.
They're not going to relent is really the problem. And so, so you've got the Senate now by a vote.
And we gave the gun to a bunch of monkeys.
Oh, my God. Y'all gave the gun to the monkey.
And, oh, boy. Hey, you're making me think about the chimpanzee. The chimpanzee in the movie, what was it? Where he got the AK-47.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
He was just loose with it. And it was all running and stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what. That's
exactly what's getting ready to happen.
And Michelle, isn't there part of both of you where because we know how we're gonna be. We're gonna do what we do, right?
We have to.
We always have, like you said earlier. But isn't there a part of you, E, that's kind of waiting to just sit back and look at how these damn fools are going to show their behind?
Oh, it's going to be a show, man.
It's just a continuation of the show.
They just move further. They've been in the theater.
They just went up a few pegs.
They just move further forward in the theater so they can make more noise.
Wow.
And it's going to be. This is a part of my crazy brain, E.
Well, see, here's the thing that I wish, and this goes back to the fact that, and fact is probably too aggressive a word. I think too often that career, a politician, attracts distasteful people.
You said that many times.
Compromised, distasteful, and then there's some that negotiate with honesty. Mm-hmm. But I think that they react to polls more than they react to what's right.
So going to your point again,
do what's right.
If they stop doing this and just flatline, which would say that they probably are looking at the polls or listening to them less if they just get our opinion all the time.
Well, I think the data that politicians use too often is polls when the data should just be the data.
Because the polls were way off.
Who's put up on in society?
They're not even interested in what we think, like you said, only at certain times. What they're really interested in is being the leader and having the power. Mm-hmm. They don't care about the problem.
True, and it's proving itself because.
But there's data.
Problems do they really solve?
But there's data out there that tells you what the problem is. So there are people who are hungry, right?
Yes.
So solve that.
That's a data.
There shouldn't be any hungry children.
Help people.
There shouldn't be any homeless veterans.
None at all.
None of that should have. That's the data they should be pursuing.
They don't.
Eric has said this so many times, y'all. One of the biggest just disgraces of the country is that we have homeless, medically deficient
and hungry
veterans. I mean, people, period. But if there were a group that we said we had to isolate and put that on, it would be our veterans of all cultures and all backgrounds, and men and women. They are the ones that, based on how the language is put out there, as Eric has said, they said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and make this commitment. to protect what I believe in and for whatever other lateral or peripheral reasons. And for those folks to have to be, I mean, these Wounded Warrior program, I mean, listen, God bless them, but that shouldn't even have to exist, Michelle.
Hey, I was just thinking earlier, and I don't know where the thought came from, that exact same thought. How is it that veterans come back to this country, fight for us, help us with maintain our freedom, and come back to not enough support, not enough housing, not enough food,
that's
or
shameful.
homelessness?
That's a blank check. There should be a blank check
I
for whatever
thought of this
they
today.
need.
I don't know why. It was in my brain earlier today. It came and it left. So maybe it was for this reason, but I don't know. I thought of that exact thought today.
That's one of many data points that they can just look at and say, that shouldn't happen. We need to fix that. I don't care what the other side thinks. I don't care what the polls say. This is data. We need to fix that. And so I think that the data they're pursuing is always the poll, is more often the polls and not the raw data. The information that we know is a problem.
You said that so many times, Eric, and accurately stated that.
So, we go through election season, and they're asking us questions about our opinions on so-and-so so they can get money from us, and then they just disappear, right? I need you to keep asking me the questions. I need you to compile the data. I need you to act on the data.
Yep.
That's what I need you to do. But I think once again that there's a blue wave. I think we elected a bunch of distasteful people on the blue and the red side, and they're going to be engaged in chaos for the next year and a half, 2 years, and nothing's going to get done.
I will say two positives, and it's almost like these people were listening to us, meaning the family meeting, certainly Eric. There's two areas that they had to be listening to us, because these are some of the results or data from this midterm. One, young voters were apparently a bigger part of the voting block than we thought might be based on what you and I were saying about messaging. Yeah. And I came up with something when you asked a question a number of weeks ago, like, are they targeting this? What Eric had said is if 10% of the older block of voters is leaving based on age and whatever, and then we've got the replacement on the back.
There's twice as many kids are aging into voting as old people are dying.
And his question was, what are, period, but specifically Dems Progressives doing to attract those voters or reach those voters? So one of the folks in that demographic said to me, listen, probably the reason that you guys aren't seeing it is because they aren't targeting you. They are targeting us, which I thought was interesting. It's not to say that it was, but it worked to some extent. So that was one positive. The other interesting positive is the trifecta. Eric has said for the longest time, and then I've chimed in on it too, that one of the misses, meaning things that's missed, is how much are the states doing, the so-called blue states, led by blue leaders, politicians, doing to make sure that the state levels are being managed. And I got to get the list of the states because there's still one or two that are coming in. But 5 states apparently pulled a trifecta, meaning, and so the governor, Secretary of State, Attorney General, the House, and the Senate for 5 states were flipped to blue. Now, the import of that is obvious if we're trying to solve some stuff. Eric has said this on a number of occasions over the years. We got to start somewhere.
Right.
And so if 5 states...
But you still had 100 and something election deniers get elected, though.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm with you.
Bunch of them.
I'm just saying that's a positive to take away from...
Well, here's the part that frustrated me the most. So this guy Ryan in Ohio, he could have won. He got no support from the DNC.
But he also pushed it away.
Okay, but...
He pushed away. He said... Because, see, he made a mistake, E.
Yeah, but they don't give him money. They can spend money without him.
Right, but he made a strategic mistake. He did something...
Yeah, he's an imbecile, too, yeah.
He made a mistake in something that you said for the longest time. Who are you going to stand with? He made a decision to not have the administration, president or vice president, come in.
That's right. He did that, too. But also Val Demings didn't get any support.
No.
The woman in North Carolina, she didn't get any support.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. Mandela Barnes, he didn't get any support from the DNC.
Not like they should have.
No.
And
what ended up happening is they didn't play the game how it needs to be played. You're not playing hard.
No, and you're not playing hard in the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
You're playing soft and in a lot of areas or medium in a lot of areas.
They had basically given up the game before it started, man.
Yeah, because they should have gotten.
Especially
So my question today is, what are we going to do to begin to hold these people, the ones that we elected, accountable to what they've promised this time? Right? I don't care about gridlock or any of that. We need you to get at it.
Yep.
All right? The number is 773-763-9278. The calls are yours next, guys. Take care.
To the rhythm of the ghetto streets. Check it out now. You trying to give me some 8-ball, but no way. I'd rather have a mimosa with Cristal and OJ. Yeah, just a little something bubbly and tingly to have me walking around naked. But wait a second.
This is Tammy Davis of Trino Inc. at www.trinoinc.com. Keep listening to The Family Meeting.
Hey, this is Brittany Perry. Did you know there's a black-owned footwear brand based here in Chicago? Perry Co. Shoes creates affordable luxury footwear and accessories for both men and women. Whether you're in a suit or out with friends, they provide pieces you can wear on a daily basis. Breaking barriers, inspiring style. Visit www.perrycoshoes.com to purchase a pair today. That's www.perrycoshoes.com.
The reason that it's important to advertise on the family meeting is that we have an economical way of reaching a great audience. One could say it's not cheap, but what we like to say is that it's an effective buy for a business or an individual who wants to reach a quality audience. The reason that it's important or a good place to advertise is that our cousins love to patronize. I'm Richard Chu, also known as Bad, the Black Asian dude with the family meeting. For more information on advertising on the family meeting, you can reach us at info@tfmradioshow.com. That's info@tfmradioshow.com. You can also contact us at area code 708-794-6444, 708-794-6444.
Do you have a pain that won't cease? A health issue that's not getting better? It may be time you visited Health on Earth Wellness Centers. With over 20 years experience, 4 Chicagoland locations, and patients that range from 2 months old to 93, Health on Earth Wellness Centers are fully prepared to meet all your chiropractic needs. We have state-of-the-art facilities in Crestwood, Tinley Park, the South Loop, and Naperville. Don't let being healthy be your last resort. Make it your first choice. Make an appointment today at healthonearth.org. That's healthonearth.org.
This is Paul Mark Wallace, president of NSYNC Consulting Services. Our website is www.nsynccs.com. Welcome back to the family meeting.
773-763-9278, 773-763-9278. Listen, I know y'all got a lot to say about this election thing.
Yep.
I'm happy to hear it, but more importantly, I'm trying to hear, now that you've elected them, how do we hold them accountable? I don't want to have no conversations about, well, what the Republicans are going to do. I don't care. I need them to advocate for something, stand up for something, put something up and make everybody vote on it.
Yep, push them.
Right?
Push them.
Even if they can't get all the votes, make sure they're advocating and legislating our permanent interests.
What we know people are.
Get everybody on the record so we know who voted for it and who didn't, so we know who to support in 24.
There it is.
Get everybody on the record.
And that is not complicated.
That ain't complicated at all. Just write it up and put it up for a vote.
Yep.
Don't complicate it with a whole bunch of riders and other kind of stuff. Do you support this?
Yes or no?
Right? All right, let's get Bob calling from Indiana here. Bob, what's new, man?
Well, good afternoon. I guess it's lady today and gentlemen.
Thank you much.
Well, the way things stand now, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little worried. So we have control of the Senate, barely, but I don't know. So I heard someone say, well, if we get Arizona and Nevada, Warnock will be gravy. Well, I don't know about you or anybody else, but it's the holiday season, and I want gravy. I think we really need that extra Senate seat, and I hope people won't give up on him now, and we can get him across the finish line.
That's right on, Bob.
Yeah, because you can't count on Manchin or Sinema.
Well, she's already kind of loosely said, Bob, that she may consider going independent, which gives her the ability to, to your point, not be there. So, good point, Bob.
So, and my money ran out the end of September. So, but while it was still there, I was cutting little checks for all kinds of people.
Good for you, Bob.
To your other point, they don't even ask for my name most of the time at my congressman, because I'm usually calling at least once a week on something. And that's kind of what people have to do. Let them know, hey, I voted for you, and hey, that's me knocking on your door.
Yes.
I'm still here, and that's what I do. I say, Bill such and such or whatever is coming up, please ask the congressman to vote for that, or just things like that. And
they don't even ask for your name, huh?
No, the past couple of times, of course, with my voice, which I've heard back through a radio receiver, and it took me 3 days to get out of bed because I said, "My God, I sound that horrible." But that's what I got. I got to live with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do. Well, I'll tell you this. I gave up on my 2 senators. They are horrid, and half the time, I literally a couple of times the people that their staffers, when I bring up something, you could hear them actually kind of giggling. Yeah, we'll tell them. Goodbye. Click.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate in this part of Indiana that we're pretty, not solid, but we're largely Democratic. And when I call there, I have nice little conversations. And when I get letters back, they are supportive. And when I check the record, 9 out of 10 times, they vote the way I would like them to.
Oh, you're a power guy, man.
Need more Bobs out there.
More Bobs out there. You're powerful, Bob.
Well,
you're like a lobbyist all by yourself, man.
Lobbyist for the bed.
Hopefully I'm getting a lot of support from others, because frankly, like I say, hearing my own voice, I said, my God, I stink on ice. I don't know, but but at least I'm putting it out there.
Yeah.
That's
good, Bob.
And that just to me is the only thing that I know of, other than voting and doing whatever you can, like if you can send a check or if you can campaign.
Right.
The only campaign before I got real sick that I ever worked on in my life was the first Obama one.
There you go.
And then I was working on the third one, but then they told me, no, he can't do that. And I said, I didn't care about that, because as far as I still think he should get another term, because he was cheated in Congress by having a rotten Congress for almost his entire 2 terms.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, Bob, you be well, okay? Thanks for the call, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Let's get Jim calling from Chicago here. Hey, Jim, what's new, man? Hey, Jim.
come back to
I know
you.
I didn't do it wrong.
Uh-oh.
There he is.
You there, Jim?
Now, let me get Earl
Sounds
here.
like
With
the line is
see
on.
what Earl's up to. Earl, what's new, man?
Nothing much, guys. It's just as cold as a polar bear's bottom. So,
Yeah, man, it's almost a dinner mug day, man.
Yep.
hey. Well, guys, I'm going to be a little bit negative.
All right, here you come. Here come Earl again. Every time Earl come around, man, I'll be down.
Yeah, I'm going to be Earl again. I'm going to be negative a bit.
What you got to say,
I
Earl?
agree with the premises. So I agree with your premise that America should be about something, but America was never about that. Remember when the Constitution was written, we weren't even considered human beings, and there's always been the rich white people who always wanted to get more money and control more things, and their premise was never about having an equal and balanced society in America. They wanted to be as greedy and as hoarding, as controlling as they ever wanted to be. And a good example of that is what you see what's going on in the Republican Party now. They don't believe in democracy. They've never believed in democracy, especially since, Goldwater. When they started embracing the white supremacists and, all those types of people to build a voting base, they definitely weren't in favor of the so-called American dream. So what I'm trying to say is we don't necessarily need to have a whole lot of votes just to show where people are. We've had 2 years to see where people are. We know that Manchin and Sinema are going to be the biggest stick in the mud, and the Democratic Party is trying to move the institutions forward. But we got to also give Biden credit for what he was able to do. So, I mean, all I hear coming from you is the negativity and not the positivity that he had to work against. It's fine to show how we're not living up to our potential, and there are people who are against free and open society and people who can live up to their potential. But I don't necessarily believe that what Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows who they are, believe them. We already know what Americans is like.
Yeah,
we already know what Americans is about.
Yeah, but Earl, check this out, man. Check this out, man. Let me tell you what I want. I don't necessarily disagree with anything that you've said, right? I think that politically, that Joe Biden had some victories. He certainly did. The impact of those victories, we'll have to see, right? But here's the thing that I'd like to see the legislature do, the federal legislature, the Congress and the Senate. I'd like to see them put up clean bills, like one-issue bills that address our permanent interests, right? Start with the abortion thing, right? Although it's not everybody's, it's most people's, right? Put up a bill that codifies, is that the right word, codifies Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Just that. Don't add anything on. Don't put no taxes in there. Don't put no infrastructure or no transportation bill money in there. Just that, right? And whether you think that vote will succeed or not, make everybody vote on it. It can't be a voice vote. It has to be a tallied vote. So now we can begin to see when they do things like that, we can see who's on what side.
And for what measure?
Right. But Eric, I agree with you on the principle, but we already know who's on what side.
No, actually we don't.
That we have almost, yes, we do.
No.
How the Republicans?
No.
How the Republican Party?
No. Check this out, Earl. Check this out, Earl. No, we don't, because they load these bills up with things that they can vote against. Like Manchin doesn't like Obamacare in the way that he should because he's worried about the cost of it, right? Right? And there's a whole bunch of other stuff they pile into those bills. So they give him the opportunity to vote on an aspect of the bill and not the bill, right? So he can be for universal health care, but not for how it's paid for. You see what I'm saying? So you got to do a clean bill so we can see where Manchin stands. And what do you do when Manchin does that? If he does that, then you go to his state and you put up another Democratic candidate and you run against him. We got to chase those people out.
Let me pick up on what you're saying, Eric. If you put up another Democratic candidate in the state that he comes from, it's going to probably be like the governor of Georgia, Kemp.
Let it happen then.
That Republican won overwhelmingly.
Yeah, but let it happen, Earl. Let it happen.
Is West Virginia.
Let it happen, Earl. Let it happen. Let that happen. We don't need you.
That's not the way you should do it. But then I'm going to shut up. Let me just get this, and then I can jump on and you can take some other callers.
Okay.
We need what the Republican Party has, and that is dark money. We cannot spend dollar for dollar against the Republican Party because we don't know how many millions and billions of dollars that are being spent in dark money.
Yeah, I think you're oversimplifying it, man. No, I think you're oversimplifying it.
No, I'm not.
It's more than money. Because what do you spend the money on? What do you spend the money on?
I came back from Miami. Every Democratic ad was blanketed by 2 Republican ads on the front end and 2 Republican ads on the back end. They're brainwashing the population. They are getting a message out that the Democrats can't compete with right now on a dollar-for-dollar basis because we don't have the billionaire support that the Republicans do. And if you don't think marketing matters, you look at the amount of money that Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Burger King, all of these companies spend on advertisement. They wouldn't be throwing these $1 billion away if it wasn't effective. The Republicans spend more money on getting their message out in key locations.
Yeah, I think that's.
We cannot match those.
I think it's what you say. I think it's what you say, as much as how often you say it.
Well, I mean, I heard the messages down there, and they were basically everything we wanted to hear up here, but they were just blanking it. They were outspent. So, but I mean, so I understand what you and Q believe, and I understand that, and I don't disagree with you, but I'm saying advertisement works. And there are people in this country who don't want a free and equal society, and they are willing to do whatever they think they need to do to keep it from being what we would like for it to be. That's all. So I'm going to bounce out and you take the rest of your call.
Okay, man.
Thank you for taking my call.
Go back to eating some chitlins or something, man. Go eat some chitlins.
Thanks,
I was gonna say that if you tell a lie, speaking of advertisement, if you tell a lie a lot of times, people start to believe it. Well, I think the regulation should be surrounded around what people can say in these ads when election time comes, and there's no regulation.
Yeah, because corporations can't say anything, but politicians can. There's no regulations for that.
They can tell you whatever they want you to hear, and that's half the problem.
I think what you say is as important, and I think to the extent people enjoy benefits of what you've done, that speaks louder than advertising.
Action.
It does, and in this environment, the dollars are definitely outpacing.
You got to think different, though. You ain't gonna get the dollars.
Well, that's not the point. It's not what's being said is right. And I know we got to go to break, so I'll stop there.
All right, y'all. 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
Love will become a BW, a basic woman, but if they don't stop, it's gonna get scandalous.
Hi, my name is Natasha Hunter McGregor. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Polaris is introducing a way for you to get empowering financial advice, save, and plan. If you are like a lot of people, you'd like to work with a financial planner, but don't know if you earn or have enough to invest. Save and Plan will allow us to work with nearly anyone from young professionals to retirees looking to travel the world. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up, Polaris gives you a customized financial plan, a real person to speak with, and information to help you make good financial decisions. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com. Call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone. Securities, insurance, and advisory services offered through FSC Securities Corporation. Member FINRA. SIPC. Insurance services offered through Polaris Insurance Agency, Inc., which is not affiliated with FSC Securities Corporation.
Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive on WCPT Willow Springs is powered by ComEd. Lower your energy bills and reduce your carbon footprint with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program.
Hey Chicago, are you always on the go? Take the new Shy 311 app with you to find the information that you need, submit non-emergency city service requests, and much more. Download the new Shy 311 app, built with Chicagoans for Chicagoans. That's Shy 311 on the App Store or Google Play, or check it out online at 311.chicago.gov. Stay informed with Shy 311. It's your gateway to Chicago services.
Are you one of the 78% of Americans who'd like to speak with someone about a long-term care plan? Did you know that only 16% have had that conversation? Call the Polaris Insurance Agency at 312-951-2606. One of the Polaris agents in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Iowa can provide you with useful material, like what long-term care currently costs and what it could cost in the coming years according to the Genworth 2012 Cost of Care Study. With information like this, you'll have the power to plan. Call the Polaris Insurance Agency at 312-951-2606. Don't outlive your financial resources.
In the morning, crack of dawning, now I'm yawning, wipe the cold out my eye, see who's this paging me and why. It's my man Pop from the barber shop, told me he was in the gambling spot and heard the intricate plot. Some people want to stick me like fly paper, neighbor. Slow down, love, please chill, drop the paper. Remember all your peoples from the hill up.
This is Oliver Gibson. Welcome back to the Family Meeting.
So Vicky for y'all, yeah. 773-763-9278. 763-9278.
You got to get them calls, man.
Yeah, I do. And so yeah, Earl makes a good point. I mean, you know, money does matter, but I think the message, if a good message less frequently can work as often as a bad message frequently.
As effectively. And one of the things that I added to that is if our message was less from a punk nature and more from a...
Give me some credit.
That's Michelle gets the credit for that because I can't say what she fully said. But if our message was a little bit more in the face of and taking the knees out, not literally, of the Republican messaging and saying, here's what we're doing for you all. Here's why. Here's how it's going to benefit you. Now go run with that versus always playing defense in the messaging from
responding to what they said.
Yeah, just punch them in the face. I think there would then be more money, this is we said during break, that would come into the Democratic coffers.
Yeah, but the message has got to start. You got to start with the message. Let me get Matt here. I'm from Chicago. Matt, what's up, man?
Hello, everyone. Hello, lady. I'm sure you're very nice. So, folks, here, what is this sound? That's a slow clap for the Democrats, who once again have declared a blue wave. Really, it was more just like a blue tide coming in very, very, very slowly. Now, what's this noise? That would be me slapping every single Democrat who did not do their job and vote. And that's the reason why I'm saying that. And then, finally, what's this noise? Now, mind you, I'm just going to have to say this because I can't gag right now, but choke. That's me and Eric running around and choking every single one of you morons who didn't do their job. So, once again, we are in peril because, once again, we have become complacent. So, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to, A, B, and moan for the next 2 years and then hope to God that somehow by some miraculous comparison we'll get out and vote and make Biden president yet again? Or maybe Kamala, because I don't know if Biden's going to run, but let's put a Democrat in the White House. Or B, we're going to do what we always do and sit here and do nothing except complain every single Sunday. Now, frankly, I hope we do a little bit of both, because if we don't do A and B, Eric's going to be out of a job on Sunday. So we need to do a little bit of complaining, but people, let's get motivated. Let's go out and do something about it. Now, don't ask me what that is, Eric, because I don't have a damn clue. But how would you be with Eric? You need help. Richard, you bad. Russa, get back here. New lady, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, but
Michelle.
Suggestion, run. Michelle,
Yes.
run. Goodbye.
Matt's on crack.
As in run away from us.
Matt's on drugs, man.
Yeah, he is.
Let me get Big R in here. Big R, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, fellas? And Michelle, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I like Big R flirting with you, man.
He did.
She's married, man. Go easy, Big R.
He changed that tone.
No. We ain't gonna get it wrong to you unless you kind of poke me into it. So it's on y'all. Listen here. I want to address what's going down in Georgia and Florida, and I hope somehow, whether through all the social media, that people down there, the brothers and sisters, understand this. The ACLU and every organization that can address this addresses it fully, because the media who is owned and run by Republicans are not going to do that. They're making a big deal about DeSantis winning by so many points in Florida. The campus. Oh God, I've been doing a little sipping, which I shouldn't be.
Big R drunk, man. He called you drunk, man.
I ain't doing an Adrian. I'm not doing an Adrian.
Oh, drunk ass Big R, man.
But camp down in Georgia, okay? They never talk about all of these voter suppression. They never do. The corporate media, whatever, the national media. It's like they made this like an infrastructure down there where if you're not voting for me, whether you're Democratic or a minority or young, we are not going to let you vote. We're going to suppress your vote. And then they come up with these big numbers where they win. But yeah, because everybody who was going to vote against you, you're not allowing them to vote.
Yeah, that is
and that would make such a big difference, and it definitely would have made a difference in Georgia over the last two governor elections. It's like, come on now. Do you really think everybody's that stupid?
They actually do.
I can't wait to see what happens in the so-called runoff between Warnock and Herschel. Man. Put the icing on the cake, please, brothers and sisters down there in Georgia. Please put the icing on the cake.
Well, I mean, but think about all the
this fool get elected.
Think about all the Saturday night skits if Herschel Walker gets elected. I mean, jeez, man, that dude is like walking comedy, man.
Oh, yeah, but still, it's like I don't even want to see him be tortured like that and be used like that. I would like to think the brothers and sisters down there have enough intelligence. Come on, we got Black College, HBCU and everything. I'm a little nip, but it's like,
come on, man.
Those down there.
What you drinking, man? What you drinking, man? What you drinking, man?
Well, I just had me a little Woodford Reserve and some beers, watching the Bears compete, but
that'll make you drink.
No, it's not that bad, man. It Fields is going to be a great quarterback, and I'm just watching him grow. The Lions and the Bears are not going to make the playoffs. Okay, the Vikings pulled out a wonderful victory against the Bills at Buffalo. But it's like I just want to see him grow so we can have a better season next year.
Okay, now he's a sportscaster.
I know.
Now he's a sportscaster now. Your drunk ass.
Wait, we switched to sports. That's on y'all now. Come on now, we can't just. I'm gonna be 64 early next year.
He's all over the place now. Damn.
Rich,
AARP
60, right?
Yeah, I'll be 61.
Rich, you 60 and then E.
I'm 56.
Okay. So we kind of kindred spirits, same generation.
No, y'all way older than I am. Y'all way older than I am.
No, don't even try.
Yes, y'all are, man. Don't put me in that bracket.
Grandkids, E, you got grandkids?
No, I ain't got no grandkids. You know I am too young for that. You got grandkids because you old.
You better get them. You better get your kids to get busy. Come on now.
I don't want to contemplate that, man. You just like I call you Otis from Mayberry, man.
How did your
wife y'all got to get it going.
Hold on a second. What you say, man?
Let me put it this way: we are kindred spirits, but Rich, you know who is the most precocious and incorrigible of us three, and his name begins with the fifth letter of the alphabet.
Hey, man.
We love him.
He wasn't drunk enough to count the letters, right?
Let me see here. Let me write it down. Big R, listen, man.
He is. We know how intelligent he is, and he always brings some wonderful political discourse to the conversation. I should have a 3-hour show where y'all can just do y'all thing. No. 2 hours of people like me, either sober, half drunk, or drunk as hell, calling y'all and having.
Go, Big Art. Go and do your thing, man.
He gone.
We're gonna let you go, Big Art.
I think we lost you, man.
I think he cut his own self off.
Yeah, I think, dropped phone. So let me get Ron calling from Michigan. I have time for that. Yeah, dude. Hey, Ron, what's up, man? Sorry for Big R, man. He drunk.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Michelle, Eric. And
you flirting with Michelle now. Okay, now you flirting with Michelle.
I got a wife, and I had a Michelle. Okay? I don't want to go there.
Set straight.
Okay, I don't want to go there. Okay, but listen, that new quarterback, the Bears are going to ruin him. They're going to bust him to pieces. Mm-hmm. They're not protecting him. Nope. He took his helmet off and he threw it away. The Bears got rid of the best kicker in the league, and he's still kicking. And this guy missed a point today. He missed too many points. The Bears stink because of management. They don't have a line to protect that man. It's a disgrace what they're doing to poor Mr. Fields.
The Bears are where quarterbacks go to die.
Yep, linebackers and quarterbacks.
Especially if they're black quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah. Going back to Vince Evans.
Hasn't been that many of them.
And even those have been ruined.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyhow.
All right, we got that out there.
What's up, Ron?
Yeah. You were talking about homeless veterans, and there should not be any of them. But what's even worse than that is our active duty enlisted personnel with married families and dependents. They are hurting. Almost every one of them qualify for food stamps because of the military pay for dependents, for soldiers with children. It's not there. We're spending billions and billions of dollars for Ukraine to kill. But our own, and we can't attract people to fill our military. Tell me why? Because we're not taking care of our soldiers in uniform now. We're not taking care of our veterans. But we're going to go around the world and spend trillions and billions of dollars to keep on killing. But anyway, on a happier note, I believe Michigan was one of the states that we completely swept out all the Republic scum.
Yeah, we
from
did.
Our state.
We trifected plus the governor, state, secretary of state, and attorney general. You're right. Michigan is one of those 5. Yep.
Yeah, and we got a union organizer, Mr. Andrews, which I hope will finally get our roads fixed in Michigan. But there is a little bit of hope. I'd like to put it out there, but it takes 15, 20 years of dogged determination and work. And you know what made me happy about this election? When Joe Biden went to Saudi Arabia and tried to negotiate some oil prices, And the Saudis said, no, we're going to deal with the Russians and the Republicans, and they jacked up gasoline prices right at the election time. And the American people saw that, and they see what's going on with these rich corporations, Republicans again owned and jacking up the prices. It's not Joe Biden's fault, and they saw through that, and they voted. And that's a hopeful sign, I think, too.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Be safe up there, okay?
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Okay, see ya. Let's see what's on Bonnie's mind. Shan't we? Hey, Bonnie.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good, girl. How are you?
Hey, Bonnie.
You come here. You call here to harass us today, or what?
I know you was against saying that the Democrats are going to lose the House and the Senate, but they went out on faith and they did what they had to do. And so I'm grateful that I was able to get a lot of people out to vote as well. So I'm with Earl when he said that there's money behind the politics, because they did have a lot of negative ads. And if people is not educated on all this political stuff, seeing what's going on, because every commercial they kept having was like negative. And a lot of people don't know that, so they just, I'm just glad that Illinois hold on to all they speak as well.
Yeah, that's true. That is
That's
true.
How were you successfully getting people to vote? How'd you do that?
Well, I've been volunteering most of my life. So what I did was call in Texas, because I had to work as well, and just everybody I came in contact with, because I was telling them that they was going to lose. They said it was going to mess with their health, Social Security, and education. And I got some of the young people out there that I know of about the student loan debt, even though it's not a lot of money, because it'll help me as well, because I've been paying those student loans for 20 years. And all I owe the government is like $2,000. That's all I owe them. But I've been paying on it for 20 years. Due to me not having a lot of money, I had to pay them what I could every month. So they wanted put me in, what's the position they put you in, default. You be a default on your loan.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I was telling people. I said, well, you need to get out, because the Republicans already said they're going to mess with the health care and Social Security. There's a lot of people, a lot of baby boomers retired right now, and they need their Social Security. So what you going to do? You got to weigh the pros and cons. Basically, that's what I told. I told them the truth.
So were you knocking on doors or making phone calls or what?
I was calling, texting, and I work in a social service environment. So I work with, I work in a social service environment like nonprofit. So I was telling people, who everybody I come in contact with.
You working, girl.
Before,
do your part.
It was before the election, but I was going to be an election judge, but I did that early on. I had to work, so I couldn't do it. So I did what I could. I got people out to vote, and so I'm glad Illinois hold on to their seat as well, because they was just, I mean, them commercials just lie after lie after lie. It was just terrible.
Yeah. You go, Bonnie. You like Bonnie.
Okay.
Right. Thank you for that, Bonnie.
Okay.
Thank you for getting out there. We appreciate that. Let us know how we can support you, okay?
Okay, have a good one.
You too. Okay, see ya.
I love it when Bonnie calls in, because she's just that old school sister.
Hold on, man. You didn't call her old, did you?
Old school.
I'm just saying, man. It sounded kind of like old. Didn't it sound kind of like old?
Because I paused between old and school.
I'm just saying, man.
Okay, fine. I said it. So now what?
She'll be all right.
Bonnie, but that's what we need. And Eric's questions were spot on. What did you do? She said what she did.
Right.
She did what she
that's
could.
That's how you let other people know what to do.
Bingo. And that's what a lot of people should be doing on a regular. Because she said, did y'all catch that? She said, but I was doing this way before the election.
Well, here's another thing, though. So, regarding our permanent interests, voting should be mandatory.
Yeah.
Bonnie shouldn't have to get out there
and tell you to vote.
Right.
There's a lot of people that don't.
Eric introduced that. I swear it must have been either right before the 2016 election or right after. But he said voting should be mandatory.
Yeah, you should pay if you don't. You should pay a fine or a tax or something if you don't vote.
Yep, it should be.
Yeah.
Look what that would do.
And so you may say to yourself, hey, I don't like any of the candidates. Fine, write yourself in. But you still got to express yourself.
You got to do something.
You got to do that.
Because you don't have the right or luxury to be able to whine and be about something.
No, you can't do that.
No,
that
gets taken away. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, and also though, if you're mandated to vote, it almost forces you to find out who you're voting for.
Bingo, it gets you involved. It makes you say, well, okay, because at some point, if you're forced to do it enough times, you're going to say, well, I need to kind of figure out who this is or what this is.
Okay, y'all.
Anyhow.
I see drunk ass Adrian, I see Dave, and I see Mary. You guys are next. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
Whether bougie or ghetto, we're some wonderful people. I'm the man of the year. You better clam up and hear what I'ma say, cause I don't play. You're gonna stand up and cheer at the top of your lungs. Ain't no stopping this, son. It's a movement, so move it. Yes, the prophet has come, bringing truth that was hidden from the proof that was given. Make you forget about the life you used to be living. Time to make a change, cause nothing stays the same. With discipline.
Hello, this is Jade Phillips, and I'm a management consultant in Chicago. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Up from the bottom, we rise like the cream. They can't fool us nowadays, we're too wise for their schemes.
Itsashort.com. The website is itsashort.com, spelled ITSASHORT.com. We are the best designation on the internet for award-winning short film, video, and web series. Artists are from all over the world. They are award-winning from various festivals, but you can find us at info@itsashort.com, customer care at itsashort.com, and we'll get back to you straight away.
If you owe money to the IRS, they're turning on the heat this year. They're garnishing paychecks and seizing assets. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. Covington Tax Solutions will help you fight to get the best deal possible. Call Covington Tax Solutions now for a free consultation. Call 872-257-4631. Call 872-257-4631.
A single K plan is a 401k plan designed especially for business owners and immediate family, regardless if they are incorporated or not. Single Ks offer both employer and employee contributions and in many cases have no setup fee or annual plan administrative charges. Single Ks are simple to administer with no government reporting required. Most importantly, this plan allows employees to access their savings via hardship withdrawals or loans. Visit our website at polarisadvice.com or call us about your business or organization's retirement plan at 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Polaris provides empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA, and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street Financial are not affiliated.
Linden Boulevard, represent, Tribe Called Quest, represent, when the mic is in my hand, I'm never hesitant, my favorite jam back in the day was Eric B for president. Rude boy composer, step to me, you're over, brothers wanna flex, you're not Bad Cobra, MC short and black, there ain't no other, Trinity born lad like Neo Long's grandmother, Tip and shot they all that, pipe dog ditto, honey tell you man to chill, or else you'll be a widow, did not you know that my style's a top dollar, the 5-foot assassin I can fleas off his collar.
This is Lisa Lenore, writer, editor, and educator. Welcome back to the Family Meeting.
Yeah, y'all. So, listen, man, I think that we haven't gotten to my main question today.
Okay.
Which is, now that the election season is over, or just about over at least, how then do we go about the business of holding people accountable to what they have more or less promised and at the very least asked us about?
Yeah, how do we go? How do we do that?
Yeah, I think there were a couple of issues that they ran on that they thought that we needed to vote for them because of that.
So what's the delivery of
okay, so now we voted for you. Now what?
Who was it? I forgot who it was that called in that said that they call. Dang it! It wasn't Bonnie. It was who was it that called in? Bob from Indiana. We got to do what Bob says. That's what people have to do. How are we going to hold them accountable? It's that simple. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Find out.
Call them.
Yeah, if it's that of much interest to you, you could take 5 to 10 minutes a week for the representatives and the senators in your state and call them once a week.
See, here's the thing, though.
What's wrong with doing that?
So here's the thing, though. So their response to our call during election season is different, right?
Right.
They probably staff up, right? They got jovial people answering the phone who are happy to hear from you.
Or not.
Once they're elected.
Yep.
What you want?
Fine.
Hello, may I help you?
Fine. That's true.
I'll tell him.
So where do we? But we have to start. I'm taking a page from your book about policy. Put it out there and make them vote on it. I'm saying the same thing, similar thought process. Everybody, make the calls.
Well, I think it's two things.
Okay. All right.
I think it's two things. I think, one, there has to be a penalty.
For not.
If you don't.
Right.
If you don't what?
Do what you said you were going to do when you ran on the voting. Right.
If you're not doing that, there's only one penalty. We're going to run somebody else.
And that's what should be part of the phone call. It's they're not going to block your phone call because it goes to a landline.
But I think part of that is beginning to recruit people, potential candidates, to run.
Okay, but yes, and not yes, but. Yes, and it needs to be all part of the same circle.
Right.
Because it's harder for people, regular folks, to say, let's go find the candidate that let me rephrase that. I believe it may be more challenging for people who want to do something.
I think all of us should be regularly walking around looking at people who you think are worthy and saying, you need to run for office.
And when they make the phone call to the representative or the Senate office or the state legislator, say to them, listen, you ran on X. I'll write the script for everybody to use throughout the country. Nice and concise. I'm good at that. If you said you were going to do X, we're going to watch you. Because if you don't, after the first 6 months of your term, if there's not some legislation out there or a voting record that shows you did X based on what you campaigned on, we're looking for people now in our community that will replace you. That should be, because that takes on what Eric said, which is important. There needs to be some retribution, some penalty.
Got to be a penalty. It's like with the kids, right?
Well, let's do it by phone call.
You do that, you're going to get whooped.
If you don't,
and you got to whoop them.
Or if you don't do that, you're going to get this. There's got to be something.
Right.
So, would it make sense or be fair to say that if we use what you're saying in terms of there's got to be some retribution, penalty, and start with simply phone calls, 5 minutes a week, 10 minutes a week. People waste more time than that.
But do you know how many calls will go to them in a week?
That's the whole.
Will they even get any work done?
But that's the whole idea. Flood the zone with, because if you don't, we're gonna be watching. And then
I think we should, like you say, maybe do that, but not once a week. I'd say once a month. Everybody though, all the Democrats
I'm
you
with
know.
You.
It's probably the volume of calls, not necessarily the quantity of calls. You're right.
It's what you say when you call them.
I think the second thing though is we have to insist that they have town halls with some regularity.
Right. You can't get. We're giving you 90 days. You need to have a town hall.
Yeah, you need to check in and see what we think you should do.
And if you can't come back,
you need to come to these town halls and explain to us the legislative agenda, right? What's going on? Ask us how we feel about it, and then your vote needs to reflect what we've expressed to you.
Put it on the calendar so you can't say, well, we can't get flights out of D.C. No, play it.
You trying to hear that?
No, you got to be here.
And I don't even mind if it's a Zoom call. It can be a Zoom because you can get more people in.
Eric's more lenient than I, because I was going to be like, you can't even do a
it's
Zoom
about
call.
making the time. I mean,
I'm with you. You're right.
You need to have your ass in D.C. advocating.
Because a Zoom call, I'm sorry, I keep cutting you. A Zoom call could reach even more people. Because people how many people can you put into the
or how many people can all drive over to where you at for this town hall?
Minimally, you got to do a Zoom town call.
At least once a month.
Once a quarter. Okay, sorry, once a month.
I think once a month.
Once a month.
Oh, I was going to say twice a year.
No, once a month.
It's got to be more than that.
Because the legislative agenda is always kind of growing. So we need to know what it is this week. School boards meet once a month, so at least you could meet us once a month.
They could do an hour town hall Zoom every single month. If I were the congressperson or senator and Eric was my chief of staff or vice versa, that would be one of our baseline things. Like, look, we got to get this on the calendar because that's what we need to be doing.
So we need to be doing.
Yeah.
Let me get who's next here? Let me get Dave calling from Hoffman Estates here. What's up, Dave? How you doing, man?
Hey, Eric, Richard, guest Michelle.
Right on, Dave.
Don't forget too when you're talking that let's not forget President Biden. He tapped into that emergency oil reserve like 2-3 times during the campaign to lower the gas prices, but it didn't really make too much of a dent in the diesel. and everything is done by diesel trucks, shipping, farming, and
he didn't release enough to cover a day's worth of gas usage, man. It was a non-issue. It was all political.
Well, he tapped it 2-3 times, and then it kind of came down on that, but yet we were exporting our stuff overseas. Anyway, that's not here nor there. I mean, anything for votes. People see a little lower gas price. They ain't driving diesel trucks and that. But when you were talking about Tim Ryan, you think that maybe he would have learned a little bit back in 2000 when Al Gore refused Bill Clinton, and you see what it got him.
Yep.
If he would have had Clinton's help, he may have wouldn't have had to worry about Florida's count at the time. And also recall that with Tim Ryan, you remember a few years back he ran up against Nancy Pelosi for the leadership of the Democratic. And you think that perhaps that's another reason why the NDCC didn't free up too much money against them? Well,
I think he's not a very bright guy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and he's
honest more so than most when he was in the.
He is just not very bright. He's not very bright or strategic in what he does.
Yeah,
I guess in some sense, like they say, I guess we want to be lied to. So.
Yeah.
And then when before they had the count, in from Nevada, basically showing Arizona and Nevada, so making the Tuesdays next month runoff is just going to kind of be a cherry on top of the cake now. But if you recall too, because they were in this world that we want everything like yesterday now because of these phones and computer and everything. We want instant, and they keep grumbling and complaining about the mail-in ballots and stuff like that. Well, maybe Republicans should take a look back, and they're getting hit with their own Frankenstein. And let me give you a name. It ain't Trump necessarily. It's DeJoy. Remember, he messed around with the mail, all that mailing stuff.
Yep, sure did.
And took boxes, whatever, and all this kind of crap and that. So he threw the monkey wrench in the gears and that. So I guess they're reaping what they sowed.
Absolutely. Good point, man. Dave, I appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
be
Dave.
well, okay?
All right, be well, guys.
Okay,
man.
See you. Let's get Mary calling from Elk Grove here. Hey, Mary, what's new, girl?
Mary.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Listen, I got one thing that I want to talk, well, actually two, but just first off, really quickly, I love the idea of a clean bill. Because with the first clean bill, I know you said Roe v. Wade, which is very important to me, but what I would like is voter rights. Because if you can't vote, if your vote is not counted, everything else doesn't work. And the night before the election, I was watching some stupid documentary, and then another one was suggested, and it's called Slay the Dragon. And it's talking about gerrymandering. So what happened in Michigan, everyone's like, oh, wow, look what happened in Michigan. That was not a mistake. What happened in 2019, after the 2018 election, or 2016, grassroots group formed by a young lady. She looked young, Katie Fahey, and she started a group called Voters Not Politicians. And what they did was they created a group that said politicians do not get to draw our maps. The gerrymandering, you go up against the gerrymandering and it discounts your vote. And they showed in the film, they demonstrated how calculated the Republicans were on how they draw the maps to ensure no matter what, no matter how many Democrats voted for a certain candidate, Republicans would always win. And we need to take this platform that she created. She got the voters. The voters voted for it in Michigan, saying, voters, not politicians, draw the maps. And that is why the entire state of Michigan flipped blue this past election, because the voters drew the maps, And like people have said, there are more of us than there are them.
So Mary, let me ask you a question though, because I've been thinking about that and trying to figure out how I feel. First, gerrymandering by itself is a terrible thing, but I think what's even more insidious is the fact that people are grouped in such a way that give you the opportunity to draw those lines. How is it that our society has decided that people of a certain ilk all live together? How is that?
And what's systemic? What's systemic things
sure
behind that?
Yeah, it shouldn't be possible to draw a line like that, but somehow it is.
Yes, that's the deeper question.
I don't know how to answer that question. I really don't. I don't know. Like, I know there are townships, there are villages, there are suburbs, there are whatnot, and you should be able to choose your own representative, because you need a certain number of representatives. And actually, I think there should be more representatives. But the way it's being done right now is ensuring that in certain states, they're desperately trying to draw the maps so that no Republican or no Democrat will ever be.
Yeah, they did that in Wisconsin. I get that. And they even took some power from the governor there. But I think that the answer to that is not that humans should be drawing the maps based on political motivation. The lines should just be straight. It shouldn't be nothing but straight lines.
Well, that's what they did. They got an independent commission, and they drew the maps. Well, Eric, think about it. If you're Hispanic and you live in a Hispanic area...
Whoa, hold on a second, man. Why is there an Hispanic area, though? Why is that?
Deeper question.
You're getting too philosophical. You're getting too philosophical. You're getting too big. You can have that conversation somewhere else.
Say, listen, don't bring that my way.
But isn't that insidious by itself, the fact that you can draw a circle around...
None of what you are saying matters until we make voting fair. What they are doing in Georgia is not fair. They're suppressing the vote. So there's two things. There's gerrymandering and there's suppression of the vote. And then, three things. And then we need the Voters' Bill of Rights or whatever that law was. We need that back. We need it back, okay? We need that back. Everyone who is eligible to vote should be able to vote. And you can't just throw people off the register, and you can't just willy-nilly draw a map so that certain people's left-handed people vote do not count. And if you watch this documentary, it's called Slay the Dragon. It shows you just how, like you said, insidious they are about doing this. And it goes both ways. This is not a Republican, versus Democrat. Democrats do it too. And sometimes we won't be happy, but you know what? Make it fair.
Okay, so I'll make a deal with you. I'll make it
fair.
I'll make a deal with you then. So I will find myself the energy to get into this whole map drawing thing if we apply an equal amount of interest in why there's a Mexican area and why there's a black area. Because I think that is probably more the root of the problem than the lines that we're drawing around them.
Yeah, and if you look at the historical, we always look at redlining, Mary, and you're right on with. I agree with you.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
But
redlining bad.
But
bad,
here's the thing: redlining was, people don't realize. I mean, you do, but redlining was often all about real estate, perception of, and such. But redlining and political redlining has been going on for just as long, if not longer.
Right.
And it also was economic political redlining as well, because they wanted to exclude certain economic groups, if you will, from being able to vote. And that crossed all cultural lines. So Eric's point and your point matched up. There's a solution in there if we look at it from why do we have these lines in the first place?
Right. And why aren't they straight?
And then Mary's other part of what Mary said about suppression. Suppression to me is actually even a bigger issue than the gerrymandering in and of itself. So anyhow, thanks, Mary.
When you said straight lines, I thought about why not get rid of all the lines?
You got to have districts.
You got to have the districts of voting.
Well,
But they should be. They're squiggly because they're trying to cut people out.
They're etching and carving.
Yeah.
Okay, but why don't we take the whole United States map, the entire United States
Open
map,
it up,
and just do straight lines, straight across.
Right.
You know, horizontal.
And equal amounts.
And yes, equal amounts, and just no states involved, no nothing, just, you know.
People in this
segment. So then you're talking about the general vote is the vote that really matters in the national elections? Ha-ha!
I'm with you, Mary. Mary, I'm with you.
Right
I
on,
appreciate you, Mary.
Just something. It's called Slay the Dragon. You can find it on Amazon Prime.
I think Mary's running for mayor of Elk Grove, too, by the way.
We have to get out there.
No.
That's what I heard.
Yes, we heard, Mary.
No. Yeah, give me a third job. Okay, right.
All right, Mary. Take care.
Bye, Mary.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Mary for mayor.
That's
Mayor
right.
Mary.
We're going to come out there. We're going to start posting signs for Mary in Elk
She's going to be
Grove.
like, what's going on? Who did this?
Okay, so I'm going to let old drunk ass Adrian in here in a minute, but he's going to have to hurry up because Tommy's right behind him. So get ready for that.
Break.
Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
Me and my niggas be rolling, skipping on you and your honey. The very first day of summer, all chromed out in a Hummer thing.
My name is Justin Johnson. I am a student at Howard University. Keep listening to the family meeting.
Play all day, puff on the line. Say what, you know that I like it, baby. Ooh, girl, you know what's up.
We do. We buy, we sell, we move, we store. Anything, anytime, anywhere. We do. The company that handles all your stuff. If you have anything that you want to do something with, please call us. We buy, sell, move, store, donate, discard. Anything, anytime, anywhere. eBay plus U-Haul equals we do. We are moving at the speed of life. Call Terry Calloway, 312-343-9973, or via email, contact him at terrycalloway58@gmail.com.
A 2016 study estimated that 13.1 million Americans were victims of identity theft last year. Fight back against your identity being stolen by signing up for Identity Guard. Identity Guard monitors your credit and identity information with alerts that can help you respond quickly if certain changes indicating fraudulent activity are detected, as well as help protect your computer from viruses, keylogging, and other serious threats. Plus, with Identity Guard's dynamic credit management resources and tools, you will have helpful information as you make better financial and credit decisions. Identity Guard includes $1 million identity theft insurance and lost wallet protection, and more if you ever do become a victim. Protect your ID for as little as $6 per month. Yes, that's only $6 per month by visiting lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com to securely sign up for Identity Guard today.
Hey, Family Meeting cousins. As you know, we've created a Patreon family meeting subscription and membership page to include you great listeners in our effort and give you a chance to very economically promote your business, organization, or local event. You can contribute as little as $5 per month to get your message out and support the Family Meeting as a viable voice. We know you appreciate our permanent interest dialogue, get up and dance playlist, and our great guests who stop by. So become a cousin and go to our website, thefamilymeeting.com, and click on the link.
What you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm making money, see? So yo, world, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round. I'm the new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underground. I drink a bottle of Hennessy you got on your shelf, so just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty, pronounced with the umpty.
This is attorney Gina Smith of Jamii Law, JAMII Law.com. Welcome back to the Family Meeting.
Yeah, y'all. So here, I'm going to remind y'all what my two things are.
Yep.
Right. One is we have to insist that they have town halls, even if by Zoom.
Yep.
Once a month.
Once a month. And that's easy to plan.
Right. And we got to prepare. We got to collectively organize and prepare to penalize them if they don't advocate for our permanent interest in running candidates against them.
Especially if they run on that platform.
There it is.
That's right.
There it is.
And I understand everything can't get done. I understand that the legislative agenda isn't always in your favor, but you need to be advocating for it.
Pushing toward it. I mean, that should be part of
it. Needs to be evidence that you're pushing towards it.
Bingo. I mean, hell, they could write an article every. I mean, if they can't get it to the floor or whatever, it should be some evidence that we're trying to do this.
None of that mealy mouthed stuff either. You need to be about that business. Let me see what old drunk ass Adrian's up to. What's up, man?
Man, it's Sunday. The family meeting is on, so you know what I'm doing.
You and your boy Big Art.
You dig it.
You and your boy Big Art calling in like that.
Listen, I just got to say this to Big Art. If you can't spell an acronym, you might want to cut back on your liquor.
On your liquor.
On your liquor.
You might want to cut back.
Golly.
Richard mentioned a word earlier in the segment that I want to touch on. But first, I want to ask Richard if he could tell us what a triple-double is. Real quick, what's a triple-double?
A triple-double? If we were referencing
what is this, a game show?
Basketball, if we're referencing triple-double, I would say that you scored 20
double-digit points, double-digit assists,
3 times.
Double-digit rebounds.
No,
okay.
It's when you drink 3 doubles back to back to back.
Oh, Adrian, see, making up some stuff.
Here we go. Man.
You know, this is drink. What is this like?
I thought you said trifecta earlier.
I did say trifecta earlier, but
I was sitting around trying to reason with a drunk ass person.
Well, Adrian's out there trying to pretend like he's got some code to, drinking games.
Let this drunk ass get it over with.
Go on, man. Say what you got to say.
All right. So Richard mentioned the word, and I'm kind of veering off in the left field. So Richard mentioned the word woke. And it kind of triggered me like a snowflake on a hot tin roof. But woke, right? So here's the thing. Woke, for people that want to push back on these right-wingers that are using woke as a pejorative, right? Like they take all of our words and turn them into a pejorative. Here's woke, right? So here's how you push back or pushing down the stairs. Whichever one you want to do, woke is what's going on in Iran right now. Think about this. Iran is in a national uproar because a woman who supposedly wore her headscarf inappropriately was taken to a jail and beaten and died in police custody. Ringing the bells, Sandra Bland. And the men of Iran who have wives, daughters, nieces, right? And these women who are the marginalized community in Iran who have uncles, fathers, brothers, grandfathers, whatever, these men have, along with these women, had enough of that right-wing theocratic regime talking about what's moral and immoral, and mostly taking women to prison, torturing them, raping them, beating them, because they don't have a headscarf on right. So now, those men over there, this uprising by these women could not be nearly possible if the men did not wake up and say, this is garbage, and stand with those women. They are now woke. So now when your conservatives want to use this, and here's the thing, these conservatives, these chicken hearts and war hearts, love nothing more than to see the Iranian regime be toppled. But here's the thing, it's being toppled by some wokeness crap protesting by people who don't have weapons of war. They out there taking off headscarves and burning them in the streets and throwing rocks at cops. And the morality police, who have since murdered 300 of their own citizens over a headscarf issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's woke. So for these people that want to say, oh, just woke nonsense, ask them if they are for or against the Iranian regime being toppled
and then letting them know that it's being toppled because of wokeness.
Preach, boy.
Good
Preach.
point.
You preach
Adrian.
with your drunk ass. That's right,
and
man.
You got that glass in your hand while you're preaching. I love
That's right,
it,
man. Adrian, I appreciate that, man. That's good insight, man.
The picture you were seeing in my hand, brother.
I lost it. We're going to let you go, man, because Tommy getting upset.
Have a good one.
All right,
man. Be safe, Adrian.
You're going to make Tommy mad.
I know.
That's what you're getting ready to do.
Tommy's like, come on now.
Yeah. That's a good, I like that he did that.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
It is.
That's right. All right, let's see what's on Tom's mind, shan't we?
Yes.
Shan't we? Tom, what's up, man?
Well, first of all, let me say hello to Miss Michelle and, of course, you, Richard, and Eric. Always great to hear your voice, and I hope that all of your families are well as those who are listening. But it continues to astound me that where we are right at this moment, that individuals are still talking about a message. I would suggest that when the message of reality is not clear enough to motivate you to recognize and understand that we are in a dire situation and we could at least come together to straighten that part of it out and then go back to our individual hives or boroughs or communities or whatever you want to call it, and try to figure things out. So what then am I speaking on? You need someone to give you a message when society has said that one of the things that you do as a member of the working class is that you pay into your Social Security, but you have someone who's come to a microphone and say, oh, guess what? Don't worry about that no more. You need someone to give you a message after you have lived your life, paid your taxes, and come to find out that corporations who make much more money than you, people who make much more money than you, are using every kind of loophole that is possibly you can even consider or design to say is a loophole, but yet you have no out and they have every out. You need a message when someone is telling another human being what they can and cannot do with their body. You need a message when they say that the process of governance is based upon the individual being able to cast a free and unobjected vote. You need a message? Here's your message. How about fools? How about individuals that you have over 320 million individuals in this country and the numbers of individuals that vote? How about the fact that you now know without a question of a doubt that your so-called conversation about inflation and when the elections come about is a bunch of nonsense because you now clearly know and see that these corporations are gouging, raising prices and stuff in a time when people are in need and suffering and hurting and you need a message. Well, here's your message. Keep listening to the family meeting because Kling-a-ling-a-ling is right around the corner for you. Goodbye.
That's my man, Tom. That's our weekly contribution to your community safety, because if Tom is not getting it out here, he's in your neighborhood breaking windows.
Yep. And
thanks for that, Tom.
The big double pane ones, too.
That's right. Hey, man, listen, if y'all don't get a chance, man, and I haven't yet, and I can't, I'll tell you why in a second. You got to get out there and see Wakanda Forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's on the list.
If you hadn't noticed already, I got my Howard Wakanda sweatshirt on, man. That's what we sell in the bookstore in honor of Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
The Black Howard joint.
I'm going to catch it next Saturday for sure.
I can't see it yet, though. Man.
I had an opportunity to see it yesterday.
I got to wait for the children to get back to visit.
Oh, got it.
But I couldn't make it.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
I had an opportunity to see it yesterday, but I wasn't able to make it.
Well, we'll get it in. I didn't see it the first week when it came out, when the first one came out, so I'm going to see it next.
Yeah, I hear it's long.
That's good.
But I hear it's both inspiring and sad at the same time. It is. I heard it was a tribute to Chadwick Boseman in a very special kind of way.
Cool.
So
range of emotion is good.
It.
Yes,
that's right. I just gotta wait for these damn kids to get home before I can see it. The little girl said, "Can we all see it together?" The little girls. Little girls, man.
Yes, little girls.
It's all right.
They wear you out, man. So look. I'd like to see us you and I, collectively try to figure out how we can be a lightning rod of sorts for holding these politicians accountable. So, those of you listening, if you encounter your politicians, you tell them they need to come on over here and holler at your boy.
Yeah.
We need to have them on the broadcast, and they need to be subject to my line of questioning.
Yep. Not the pre-boxed in, framework in.
We're going to sit down. We're going to put them in the corner where Michelle is, and she's at the opposite side of the room from the door, so she can't get out without getting by somebody.
And that somebody is moi.
Right.
Security.
You have to get by 2 people to get out of here and take questions. Yeah. What are you doing?
It'll be good for you. I mean, unless you're such a prima donna, male or female, that you can't handle some reasonably warm questions, maybe leaning toward hot, then you shouldn't be in the job.
They're reasonably warm depending on what you've done.
Or what your perception of them is. Well, somebody go, yeah, I should be asking that question.
Yeah, and y'all know how we do here. They're going to go back and look at the tape and see when J.B. Pritzker came in here and how we asked him questions.
Did you roast him?
Well, he didn't get roasted, but we're not playing that game here. We're asking questions that we want to know the answers to.
And he very quickly went, hold up. In his brain, it's like, I
didn't think about that.
No, he actually said, I need to deal with this right now. It's in my lap, and I need to deal with it right now. And he kind of did. He took the questions, and Eric followed up. JB realized that that conversation was a dumbass conversation. And I can't fix it, but I can fix how I go forward. And in that moment, he did. And I still say to this day, had he not done that, a lot of people would have been questioning where he really stood. Black, white, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not trying to give us any bona fides or anything that we're not that influential, but I think those of you who listen know you can count on us
to stay real and keep it consistent.
Anybody, and they come in here, we ask them questions. If they give us those political answers, hold on, killer, they're gonna get that from me.
Hold on,
sport.
No,
sport.
No, that's when you go, hold up.
Right, like that.
Right.
Hold on, sport. That ain't what I asked you.
Don't pivot to another thing that you got free in your brain. Just
obfuscate. No.
Answer this one.
Answer this question.
You're gonna be strong. Here's the thing. You're gonna be stronger for it. That's at the end of the day. We all know this.
We're pushing you up to that pinnacle.
Right.
We're helping you get there.
Or at least preventing you from sliding further away from where you say you're trying to go.
So if you're encountering politicians under any circumstances, you tell them. You tell them to holler at us.
Yeah.
We'll give them 2 hours. We'll give them the full 2 hours to our line of and your line of questioning too, because we'll put you on the phones so you can ask them.
Yeah.
Right. You got to make them take a position on this stuff, and then hold them accountable to that, or penalize them.
Mm-hmm. And actually, holding them accountable is easier. Because if you hold them accountable, then there should be some movement forward. Because then they don't want to be penalized.
Especially after all this hand-wringing and consternation we went through this election season. Democracy is in trouble.
It's the most important election of our lifetime.
It was fear-mongering.
Yeah.
A lot of fear-mongering.
But then here's the thing, Michelle. All the stuff that the Republicans did or tried to do, it really didn't work. The only thing that worked was the gerrymandering in Florida and parts of New York.
Wisconsin.
I'm sorry. Thanks, E. Up in terms of the House.
Don't forget about the women's choice. That did not work. That went in Illinois. That did not work. I know that for a fact. So the minute I heard, what was the Republican candidate for governor? What was his name? I forgot him already.
Not Barry.
The guy, the farmer guy.
Illinois?
Yeah, the farmer guy.
The fat farmer.
Yeah, him. So when he said what he said on that commercial out of his own mouth, I knew I wasn't letting him get in office.
No.
You can't tell me what to do.
Well, and take this
with my body.
Take this into the bigger space, and then we got to wrap up. But people need to pay attention to what Eric says all the time, which is who is advocating for our permanent interest. That's the people we want to put our energies behind.
Yeah, if you're not, then you got to go.
Or not get your behind in.
Right. That's not to say. People think it's a red or blue decision. It's not. It can be a blue decision or a different blue decision.
Right.
It doesn't have to be red or blue.
Right.
Yep.
Just a different blue.
A different blue. Well, if you can't do it, you fired. We're gonna get rid of you and get somebody else who will.
Yep.
Sure.
Sports analogy. If you can't hold that spot, we got to put somebody in that can.
That's right.
Changing coaches.
That's right.
Yeah.
Michelle, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Oh, it was such a pleasure.
Make sure you come again soon.
Yeah.
Oh, is that really another invitation?
Just holler at your boy when you're ready to come, and I got you.
And I'll be up in here every
I'll
week.
make sure your spot is ready.
Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome, dear.
And the Black Asian dude and our
Always,
white
brother.
slave Paul, thank you so much. Tune into the family meeting every Sunday at 4. I'm your host, Eric Grant. Peace.
NBC News Radio, I'm Chris Coraggio. An investigation is underway after Saturday's deadly mid-air collision during an air show in Dallas.
A representative from the NTSB's Transportation Disaster Assistance